Did you know that Hollywood's most famous grandmother wasn't actually a grandmother at all? In fact, the woman who played the feisty, shotgun-toting granny on the Beverly Hillbillies was a glamorous Broadway performer who once shared the stage with Bob Hope. And here's the kicker. When she first appeared as Granny on television, she was only 59 years old. The remarkable true story of Irene Ryan goes far beyond the rocking chair. And today, we're going to uncover the woman behind one of television's most beloved characters. The true story of Irene Ryan goes far beyond the shotgun-toting grandmother we know from television. Born Jessie Irene Noblet in 1902, she transformed from a vaudeville performer to radio personality to Broadway star with an extraordinary journey in between. From her early days fighting for recognition to her final Broadway triumph at age 70, Ryan's life was filled with reinvention and determination, and the legacy she created continues to impact performers to this day. Jessie Irene Noblet was born on October 17, 1902, in El Paso, Texas. Her journey into show business began early. At just 11 years old, she performed at San Francisco's Valencia Theater for an amateur contest and walked away with a $3 prize for singing Pretty Baby. Even as a child, Irene had her sights set on performing. At 14, she was so determined to break into the entertainment world that she fibbed about her age to land a job with a California stock company, cleverly working around the state's child labor laws. School wasn't really her thing. She completed only 2 years of high school before fully committing to her stage career. For the next 4 years, she honed her craft in stock theater before venturing out to make a name for herself in the competitive world of show business. Think about that for a moment. While most teenagers were worrying about homework and school dances, young Irene was already chasing her dreams with the kind of determination we rarely see. It was during her travels performing in musical comedy and variety shows across California that she met Tim Ryan, another vaudeville performer. The two quickly became partners both professionally and personally. They married in 1922, and for the next 2 decades, they worked as a comedy duo, building what would become a strong foundation for Irene's later success. But here's something you might not expect about this early part of her career. The glamorous, witty performer we're talking about was nothing like the character that would later make her famous. In fact, if you saw Irene Ryan during her vaudeville days, you'd never believe she would one day transform into the feisty backwoods granny that captured America's heart. Have you ever wondered what it takes to completely transform yourself for a role? What kind of versatility and talent does an actor need to become someone entirely different from themselves? Keep watching, because Irene Ryan's transformation is one of the most impressive in television history. As vaudeville began to decline with the rise of new entertainment media, Irene and Tim Ryan successfully made the leap to radio. Known professionally as Tim and Irene, they substituted for Jack Benny in 1936 on the Jell-O Summer Show on NBC's Red Network. Their act, which included the popular Dumb Dora routine featuring a scatterbrained but lovable woman, quickly became a nationwide sensation. Irene's impeccable comedic timing and distinctive voice made her perfect for radio, where personality had to shine through without visual cues. As her radio career flourished, Irene began appearing in films alongside Tim. They starred in a series of comedy shorts, appearing in 11 films together. Some of their projects included The Wacky Family, 1936, Hamlet and Eggs, 1937, and Will You Stop, 1937. Soon I'll share how Irene Ryan almost didn't get the role that would define her career, and the bold move she made to convince producers she was the perfect granny. But first, let's continue with her journey. despite their professional success. Irene and Tim's marriage ended in divorce around 1942 or 43, after about 20 years together. However, in a testament to their professional respect for one another, they continued to collaborate on film projects even after their personal relationship had ended. During this period, Irene worked with comedian Bob Hope. She toured with Hope and was on his radio program for 2 years. This association with one of the biggest names in entertainment further elevated her profile and expanded her audience. Later in this video, I'll show you how Irene Ryan made a crucial career-defining decision at an age when many performers were considering retirement. This decision would not only revitalize her career, but would also create a lasting legacy that continues to this day. Throughout the 1950s, Irene continued building her resume with roles in several television series. But while she was respected in the industry, she was still waiting for that breakout role, the one that would make her a household name. Little did she know that her biggest opportunity was just around the corner, and it would come in a form no one, including Irene herself, might have expected. When you think about it, Irene Ryan had already had a full career by the time she reached her 50s. She'd been in vaudeville, radio, and film. She'd performed alongside some of the biggest names in entertainment. What would drive someone with that much experience to fight for a role that was completely different from anything she'd done before? Stay with me, because the answer reveals a lot about who Irene Ryan really was. When the Beverly Hillbillies was in development in the early 1960s, Irene Ryan set her sights on the role of Granny Daisy Moses, the feisty, no-nonsense matriarch of the Clampett family. But despite her extensive experience, she almost didn't land the part. The show's creator, Paul Henning, relied on his casting agent to find the perfect Granny. But Ryan wasn't their first choice. In fact, the agent didn't think she was the right fit at all. Determined not to be overlooked, Ryan took matters into her own hands. She personally called Paul Henning and made a bold case for herself. "Look, Paul," she challenged, "do I have to go home and get my gray wig and shawl to convince you? If you get anybody older to play the role, she won't be able to stand the pace. I know what those 7 to 5 schedules are like." Her passion and confidence won her another audition, but Henning later recalled a slightly different version of events. He explained that Ryan had stopped by his office one day, and he asked her directly if she thought she could play a hillbilly. Without missing a beat, she launched into a story. "Are you kidding? I was in a stock company, and we played a theater in Arkansas. We kept waiting for the curtain to go up backstage, and finally, when it didn't, we went to the manager and asked why he hadn't let the people in. He said if he let them in before the curtain went up, they'd whittle away the seats. So yeah, I know hillbillies." That was all Henning needed to hear. Irene Ryan had not only the experience, but the perfect grit and humor to bring Granny Moses to life. Now let me show you something truly fascinating about Irene Ryan's transformation into Granny Moses, something that shocked audiences when they finally learned the truth. One of the most remarkable aspects of Irene Ryan's portrayal of Granny Daisy Moses was the dramatic age difference between the actress and her character. When the show debuted in 1962, Ryan was only 59 years old, far from the elderly matriarch she so convincingly played on screen. Granny was portrayed as significantly older than Ryan herself. The character frequently reminisced about the Civil War and other 19th century events, implying she was much older than Ryan's actual age. To bridge this considerable age gap, the show's makeup department worked magic every filming day. Ryan underwent a transformation that required heavy makeup applications to age her face. The team used a combination of techniques to add wrinkles, shadows, and contouring to exaggerate lines, making her appear far older than she really was. Her signature gray wig and frumpy, old-fashioned costumes completed the illusion. The aging process was so effective that audiences at the time had no idea Ryan wasn't actually an elderly woman. Only when she appeared on talk shows or in public as herself did people realize the extent of her transformation. But here's something even more impressive. Irene Ryan didn't just look the part, she embodied Granny completely. She altered her posture, her walk, her mannerisms, and even her voice.
Oh, the way she's bragging on his looks. You are handsomer than an ox.
To create a character who felt authentic and three-dimensional. This wasn't just makeup, this was masterful acting. Can you imagine the dedication it takes to transform yourself so completely for a role? For 9 years, every single day on set, Irene Ryan became someone else entirely. That's 274 episodes of complete character immersion. What do you think that kind of commitment reveals about her as a performer? The Beverly Hillbillies premiered in 1962 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon. Within just 3 weeks of its debut, the show skyrocketed to the #1 spot, setting a record for the fastest rise to the top in television history. For her portrayal of Granny, Irene Ryan was nominated for an Emmy Award in both 1963 and 1964 for Outstanding Continued Performance by an Actress in a Series. While she didn't win, these nominations cemented her place as one of television's most beloved character actresses. Despite her success, Ryan never let herself feel too comfortable in the role. She carried an underlying fear that her job could disappear at any moment. She was known for being punctual and professional, always the first one on set for every scene. Her success on The Beverly Hillbillies helped her gain recognition in a unique way. While her appearance on screen was completely transformed, her distinctive voice became her calling card. People often wouldn't recognize her on the street until she spoke. Then her famous voice would give her away immediately. In the final part of our video, I'm going to reveal the unexpected final chapter of Irene Ryan's career that many people don't know about, and the lasting legacy she created that continues to influence performers to this day. When the Beverly Hillbillies ended its run in 1971, after 9 successful seasons, many actors might have considered retirement. After all, Irene Ryan was now 68 years old and had been in show business for over 5 decades. But retirement wasn't in her vocabulary. Instead of slowing down, Ryan embraced a new challenge by returning to her first love, live theater. She took on the role of Berta, the feisty grandmother, in Bob Fosse's Broadway musical Pippin. Even in her 70s, she captivated Broadway audiences with her performance, particularly her show-stopping number, No Time at All. Her performance was so impressive that she earned a Tony Award nomination in 1973 for Best Featured Actress in a Musical. Think about what this means. At 70 years old, when many people are well into retirement, Irene Ryan was taking on one of the biggest challenges of her career. She was performing live on Broadway, singing and dancing in a physically demanding production, and doing it so well that she earned one of theater's highest honors. What does it say about a performer who continually pushes herself to try new things, even after achieving massive success? What kind of passion and dedication must drive someone to keep performing into their 70s? These are the questions that reveal the true character of Irene Ryan, an artist who never stopped growing and challenging herself. Tragically, Irene Ryan's remarkable career came to an unexpected end. On March 10, 1973, while performing in Pippin on Broadway, she suffered a stroke. She was flown back to Los Angeles for treatment, where doctors diagnosed an inoperable glioblastoma, which is a nasty brain tumor. On April 26, 1973, at the age of 70, Irene Ryan passed away at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica, California, from glioblastoma and arteriosclerotic heart disease. But this is not where Irene Ryan's story ends. In fact, her most enduring contribution to the world of entertainment came after her passing. Ryan wasn't just dedicated to her craft, she was deeply committed to giving back. She established the Irene Ryan Foundation with the goal of supporting aspiring young actors. True to her generous nature, she ensured that even after her passing, her fortune would continue helping others. With no immediate family to leave behind, Ryan directed her entire estate, more than $1 million, to create the foundation, establishing scholarships for theater students. Today, the Irene Ryan Foundation awards 8 regional and 2 national scholarships annually. The regional scholarships are $500 each, while the national scholarships of $3,000 each provide greater financial assistance to outstanding student performers wishing to pursue further education. This means that even now, more than 50 years after her death, Irene Ryan continues to influence the world of entertainment by supporting the next generation of performers. Her legacy lives on not just through reruns of the Beverly Hillbillies, but through the countless young actors who have been able to pursue their dreams because of her generosity. While many online videos and articles claim that Irene Ryan's former home sits abandoned and filled with memorabilia, this is simply not true. This urban legend has been perpetuated by clickbait content creators looking for views. In reality, Ryan's properties were properly managed after her death, with her assets being directed to her foundation, as specified in her will. The supposed abandoned Irene Ryan house photos circulating online are either misattributed or completely fabricated. This is a perfect example of how false Hollywood legends can spread online, especially about beloved figures like the woman who played Granny. When we think about celebrity legacies, we often think about their work, the films, shows, or songs they leave behind. But Irene Ryan created something far more meaningful, a pathway for others to follow in her footsteps, to discover their own talents and share them with the world. What would our world look like if more successful people used their resources to create opportunities for the next generation? Irene Ryan's choice to support young performers speaks volumes about her character and her values. What do you think motivated this decision? Irene Ryan was so much more than just Granny Moses. From vaudeville performer to Broadway star, she mastered multiple entertainment mediums and completely transformed herself into a character decades older than her actual age. Her story reminds us that great performers never stop evolving, and that age is no barrier to new challenges. But her most enduring legacy may be the foundation she created, which continues to support young performers pursuing their dreams. The next time you watch the Beverly Hillbillies, remember the remarkable woman behind Granny, Jessie Irene Noblet from El Paso, Texas, whose talent and generosity continue to impact entertainment even today. If you enjoyed learning about Irene Ryan's remarkable career, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below. We share new stories about classic Hollywood stars every week. And if you found this video interesting, we'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like.